of AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying
Today we're diving into something unexpected and pretty unbelievable. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got called out in a major way, and the aftermath, let's just say things aren't looking great.
Interviews was when AOC was talking to that lady and she asked her to expand
about Israel-Palestine.
Oh my God.
Well, I believe absolutely in Israel's right to exist.
She just collapsed into herself.
It's literally like a fifth grader that didn't study.
Look at that incident more through just as an incident.
And then they ask you about the subject, or you didn't read the book. Well, it's about Billy and his dog.
What people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is...
But the crazy thing about that interview is that her first comment comes off with total authority.
I am a proponent of a two-state solution.
One little follow-up question. The question's like, well, what do you mean by that? And then you just see her get weaker and weaker.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
But what do you mean about that? It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. And she literally goes, I'm really not the expert.
Do you think you can expand on that? I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
Yeah. That's right. OC, who's usually seen as untouchable, is suddenly feeling the heat. So, what sparked it? Bill Maher lit the match on live TV, going straight for the jugular. He called her out, accusing her of promoting an anti-American attitude, no sugarcoating, no holding back.
He has called for the investigating and possible impeaching of members of the Supreme Court. Here's what she said.
I believe that we should be considering subpoenas. We should be considering investigations. There also must be impeachment on the table, and the Supreme Court has not been receiving the adequate oversight necessary in order to preserve their own legitimacy.
Where in the Constitution do you find oversight? One branch is the watchdog of the other branch? I don't think so. That's not the way it works.
A lot of people don't like AOC, but I really do love the earnestness of her stupidity. There's something really charming about how hard she's trying. It's like watching your 14-year-old give a speech about something they don't really fully understand. It's kind of cute. It's adorable in a very, society destroyed.
The tension hit instantly. You could feel it through the screen. From that moment on, the floodgates flew open. Critics, from every angle, started piling on, and AOC's once rock-solid image is starting to show real cracks. Even some of her most loyal supporters are finding it hard to defend her now.
See, here she is.
And I think if you actually do see some of the photos of the signs, I think there's something to be said about the government's about to shut down. There's a vote clock that's going down. The exits that are normally open in that building were suddenly closed.
Suddenly.
He pulled a fire alarm.
So what I'm here to say is that
what I'm
House
here to say
and U.S. Capitol Police and Jamal Bowman are an active, and he's fully participating and saying there was a misunderstanding. But what I do think is
hold on. He's active and fully participating in saying that there was a misunderstanding. That is not our language.
No, he was.
What language is that? She is delightfully stupid. I know people don't like her. I understand that.
Right.
But I just find her just wonderful. She's so...
It's open season on AOC. Critics are coming at her. From all directions, out everything from her shaky economic positions to her unclear stance on immigration. And for many, one thing has become glaringly obvious. She's been sidestepping the tough questions for way too long. Bill Maher's on-air takedown may have been the spark, but the deeper issues have been simmering for a while. Her once polished image is quickly shifting to something more problematic. The signs were already there, especially in those awkward, hard-to-watch interviews. Take the infamous Israel-Palestine moment. She voiced support for a two-state solution. But when asked, too elaborate, she froze. It came off less like thoughtful hesitation and more like someone who hadn't done their homework, fumbling through answers with little depth, and that wasn't a one-off.
People will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't think that.
Okay.
That Don.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and
That's
Fetterman
phony.
is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that's has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was
It
set
kind
down.
of it implies it.
But that doesn't mean that she was set down in a Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies that it implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just.
After Bill Maher's sharp critique, the conversation around Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took a sharp turn and not in her favor. Suddenly, it wasn't just her policies being questioned, but her competence. Every pause, every filler word, every vague answer is now being analyzed under a microscope. The once polished image of a fearless, media-savvy progressive is beginning to show signs of strain. Sure, every politician faces criticism, but this feels different. This feels like a full-blown credibility crisis. For years, AOC rode the wave of viral speeches, social media dominance, and cultural clout. But now, more and more people are asking the hard question. Where's the depth? Her rhetoric is bold, yes, but when pressed on the specifics, like the economic viability of her proposals or concrete steps for immigration reform, things tend to unravel. Maher's takedown wasn't just a headline, it was a spark that ignited a broader reckoning. Even voices on the left are beginning to ask, is she the leader progressives need right now? Her signature initiative, the Green New Deal, remains ambitious, but critics argue it's more slogan than strategy, lacking a clear path to implementation. Her responses on immigration have come across as vague. Her economic plans are viewed by some as underdeveloped. And now, with Maher's criticism still echoing across political media, every word she speaks is being dissected by allies and opponents alike. The pressure has never been higher. Is this just a rough patch or the beginning of a larger unraveling? What once seemed like her greatest strength, her ability to communicate, may now be her biggest vulnerability. So, what do you think is this temporary backlash, or the start of something much bigger? Let us know in the comments.